had a little 2-year-old who, when he came, he was really shut down, wasn't he?
Lifeless almost.
Yeah, like just a limp ragdoll. He didn't speak, he didn't show any emotion. He was just a very, very sad little boy. And within about 3 months, wasn't it, he just started to talk some more and just come out of himself.
When the children first came, they didn't even know how to play because they'd been moved about so much that they'd just sit there and do nothing. But now they play all the time, they play with the other boys. When you see the satisfaction, the happiness on their face to do something as simple as that, then it just makes the job so worthwhile.
A young man was asked by somebody who I was, and he said thought for a long time, and they said, well, he's my dad. He said, because he's the only person who's ever been in my life stable and secure, and as well as being the best friend I have, I regard him as my dad. I got involved in fostering because I've been teaching for about 17 years, and then I got involved in youth work, and I felt that it would be useful to put those skills into practice.
We were at home caring for our disabled son, and because we were both at home, we learnt a lot of skills that we thought we could use within fostering.
We started fostering in 1996. Barbara was driving as a volunteer driver, and she started to drive 2 children that were in care, and would come home and chat about these 2 little girls that she was driving and how much she liked them. And from there, really, we took an interest in fostering.
At the moment, we have a long-term linked child with profound disabilities, and we foster babies that are bridging to adoption, but we have fostered right the way across the board from babies up to teenagers.
We actually got children that were a sibling group together, and they're long-term linked to our family as well.
Taking children away from their families is hard enough, let alone to split them up. You know, so yeah, it's a good thing to have siblings together.
We've done all sorts of fostering. We've done respite, emergency placements, and quite recently asylum seeking.
The most important quality in a foster carer, I think, really is tolerance and understanding. You need to be able to recognise that there will be young people who come with all manner of baggage, much of which is hard to understand and work with because it's outside our own experiences.
We felt at the time that because we had 3 of our own children, that we were quite capable of looking after children, and that having an extra child in the house wouldn't make that much difference. But it did. Looking after a child in care isn't like looking after one of your own children. It's completely different.
Your social life definitely changes, especially being 0 to 4. Babysitters aren't at a premium when you've got 4 of your own plus another child.
Well, it actually scared me a little bit, the thought of it, that we was going to have children with disabilities into our home. But after we had a young lady come along who had 2 children of her own with disabilities, I got completely hooked.
The children really love it. We didn't know, obviously, how they would cope with having another child in the family, but they just take to them straight away. They're very loving, they're very caring, and they include them in everything. They want them to be in everything, and it is just like having another member of the family.
You're scared of so many things at first, but once the child comes in, if you approach the child in the correct manner, you know, just talk to them a bit, and they seem to relax somewhat, even though they've still got their back up, but they are more relaxed. And then you realise, yeah, this is going to work, we can do this.
In addition to the help that foster carers get from their social workers and supervising social workers, we have the Essex Foster Carers Council, which is organised and run by foster carers to support carers in all sorts of situations. And nationally is the Fostering Network.
We receive an allowance for each child that we look after, which depends on their age as to the amount that you receive. And also, because Barbara's been fostering for some time, she's become a feed-paid carer.
Training has developed a lot in the last few years. You can do MVQ training now, so there's a recognised qualification at the end, and there's ongoing training
currently all the time, so we can update and enhance our skills.
Our children also get to go to a support group as well, which is really nice for them to be with other children that foster.
We've had help, financial help, to actually adapt our property to make it easier for the child and for us to care for that child. We also give a good care package. We have respite where the young man that we have goes to a residential unit for respite to give us a break.
I'm always telling friends of mine to foster. There's so many children out there that need families. Just do it.
I never believed how much fostering would change me and my understanding, particularly of myself. I've learnt more about myself through these young people during the course of the last 15 years than I ever imagined, and it's been the best job I've ever done.
You can't find words to describe the feeling of it, having all these children. They're magical, you know, having our own children and having the privilege to look after other people's children. You know, it's great.